Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, shalom, jumbo, bienvenidos. Hi, my name is Jedley, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We are so excited that you're part of our beautiful Reading with Your Kids family. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to the show on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you find your podcast. We have a fantastic guest today, the author of the 3 Dark Crowns series. She's back to tell us about the final chapter in that series, 5 Dark Fates. Our guest today is Kendare Blake. Before Kendare joins us, I want to let you know how you can get a free audio version of 5 Dark Fates. That's right, for free. Imagine how much fun you will have listening to this fantastic book with your kids on the way to school or on the way to soccer practice. You can talk about it. You can have fun experiencing all the mystery and intrigue. Well, all you need to do is to go to audibletrial.com/respect. audibletrial.com/respect. When you sign up for Audible's free 30-day trial membership, you can download Kendare Blake's 5 Dark Fates, or any one of the 3 Dark Crown series, or any one of over 150,000 titles for free. That's right, free. And that audiobook will be yours to keep forever. That's right, you can cancel at any time during the first 30 days and you owe absolutely nothing. But I don't think you're going to cancel because being a member of Audible, it's really a great deal. And like I said, that book, if you cancel your membership, you owe nothing. That book is yours to keep forever. audibletrial.com/respect. Joining us now from Washington State, she's the author of the 3 Dark Crowns series, and she's here today to tell us about the final chapter in that series, 5 Dark Fates. Please welcome back to the show, Kendare Blake. Kendare, how are you?
I am good. Thanks so much for having me on again.
Yes. The 3 Dark Crown series has come to an end. The 5 Dark Fates, the latest and final chapter in that series. First off, congratulations.
Thank you. It feels like a journey.
Yeah, I bet. And I want to talk to you in a little bit about that whole, bringing the series to a conclusion. But first, can you tell us a little bit about the 3 Dark Crown series and more specifically about this final book?
Absolutely, yeah. 3 Dark Crowns is a dark fantasy it's set on an island in which every generation a set of triplet queens are born, and each queen has a different magical gift. And unfortunately for them, when they turn 16, they have to kill each other to decide who gets to be the next queen. And whoever wins that contest then goes on to rule until one day she has her own set of triplets and the cycle repeats. So the 3 Dark Crown series is about one generation of those triplets and how they deal with that kind of messed up situation.
Yeah.
Fate is the conclusion. It's the 4th book. There was also a collection of novellas that was released, but it's the 4th main novel, and it's the end of their story. I can't really say much else about it without giving away major spoilers for what's happened so far.
Now, when you were here before, you told me that you got the inspiration for 3 Dark Crowns by observing a hive of bees.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily a hive of bees, but it was like a ball of bees. Was a swarm of them on their way to a new hive. Yeah, just a random encounter. I'd never thought of bees before. I'd never really gotten inspiration from any particular moment like that before. So that was cool. And now I really like bees. That's great.
Well, we really like the 3 Dark Crown series. Kendare was sweet enough to send a copy of the book autographed to my niece that I talk about a lot on the show. And Jimena just loved the book. And when I was asking her to try to articulate what it was she liked about it, it was just like, it's just like crazy and dark and weird and I go, well, that's the perfect recommendation for it.
That is. I love that. Yay.
Now, Kendare and I have, become acquaintances on social media, so I follow her, and you And at least on social media, you're such a pleasant, friendly, upbeat person. Where does this dark, weird stuff come from?
Well, to be honest, I mean, it's kind of a persona on social media that you develop over time, just because on social media, sarcasm is really hard to nail. You never know how it's going to be taken. And you don't, like, if you're meaning for a joking tone, you don't want to err on the side of meanness. So over time, I think on social media, I've become less sarcastic than I am in real life. But I like to think that I'm equally as morbid on social media. I don't try to hide my delight for, dark and scary things. I just do it in a very upbeat manner so people never think that I'm mad at them or anything.
Well, anybody that's listening out there, I would highly recommend you take Kendare's approach on social media, because I mean, you can be, you're misinterpreted and talk about being sent to a dark place. That can really be a problem on social media.
Yeah, and then you get like caught in a spiral, like, oh, you feel bad, like, oh no, I didn't mean it that way, and then you have to have a long thread where you go back and forth and try to explain it. Yeah, so it's just easier to like end everything with a smiley winky face if you're not sure how it's going to be taken, because then they'll assume like, she's joking.
So this is, you were saying that this is the end of a journey for you. I guess, how does it feel? I mean, you've been so involved in creating the Three Dark Crowns series it's been years now, and now you're at the end. So what's that like for you?
Yeah, I got the idea from the bees. I encountered the bees in 2013, and now it's 2019, and I'm just finishing up the book this week, actually. It's like our last decent round of revisions. And it feels just terrible. I mean, I'm really sad. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel. I've never written a series that's this long. And I've heard that sometimes, it can be like you're eager to just get on to the next thing, but I'm dragging my heels. I don't really want to leave the island of Fenburn. I'm going to miss the queens. I'm going to miss the characters, and I'm going to need some kind of therapy session in September is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I guess you become so comfortable with the characters and the setting, and you just don't want to give it up.
Yeah, well, and I'm one of those weird writers who, in my world, all of my characters are really living in another dimension, and like their lives go on, and it just bums me out that I at some point don't get to be there to watch it anymore.
Now, I guess I don't want you to. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be asking you to give away a spoiler, but so don't if I am. But are we going to have a satisfying conclusion, unlike fans of The Sopranos?
Well, I mean, I think it's every writer and creator's hope that your ending is satisfying. But I'm also very aware that every reader will have a different idea of what satisfying means. Not everybody is going to be pleased. By this time, people have formed attachments and hopes and theories, and not all of them can come to pass, obviously. So I'm prepared that some people will be angry with me or disappointed or just, and then some people I hope that there will be aspects of the book that people will like, and because I know there will be aspects that they dislike.
I imagine it must have been a blast getting all the reaction from folks as they're reading and they're taking the twists and turns in the series. Have you had anybody come up to you who's been so disappointed in the way that the story has turned that they just wrote to you and said, "Nah, I'm done with the book and I'm done with you"? And how could you do that?
Well, I've never had anybody come up to me personally, which I appreciate. Please don't do that. But I mean, yeah, I'm sure that's happened. Books are subjective. The love of books it's so, your favorite book, if you look up reviews for it, you will find people who hate it. And you'll be like, how can you hate this book? It's the best book ever. But that's the joy of art, because not everybody's going to love the same thing. So absolutely, the Three Dark Crowns series is not for everybody, and if it's not for you, I totally get it. But I mean, I certainly appreciate everybody that's given it a try.
What do you think it is that we may have talked about this the last time we were on the show, but there are so many kids who are drawn to the dark, kind of scary, creepy books and movies and even music. What do you think it is that's inside kids that is drawn to that?
I don't know. I think it's the same thing that is inside all of us, because I was drawn to that when I was a kid, and I'm still drawn to it as an adult. People like drama, and it's almost like an escape. Like, oh, if my life is just really calm and nice and I enjoy that, but I also want to see someone whose life is just a train wreck. I just want to stare at it for a while. And I think it's that way in dark fantasy, and it's that way in horror. Like, we're never going to get to ride a dragon at breakneck speeds and then have our dragon's head cut off, in the midst of a battle. But it's interesting to watch someone else have that experience. It's pure escapism, I think.
Yeah, it certainly. I was certainly one of those kids who was drawn to it, and I was drawn to it for a long time as an adult. I think I've mentioned it on the podcast in the past that it was when I became a dad was when the creepy stuff became too creepy and I couldn't read it anymore. But you're right.
I go through phases. I mean, I always love horror, but I also love a good rom-com, and I read really widely. I love historicals, fluffy stuff, love stories. They're all great, but for some reason, the stuff that I write tends to just go towards the darker side.
Yeah. Now, I'm wondering, as you're writing the dark stories and you're flying on the dragon and the dragon gets his head cut off, when you're writing these passages that are creepy and scary, are you laughing behind the keyboard or are you scaring yourself?
No. Oh, and by the way, if I ever wrote a passage where the dragon got its head cut off, that would be like my worst nightmare. I think I'm just channeling like my Game of Thrones trauma into this podcast right now, because I love dragons and all animals, and whenever anything bad happens to them in battles or in any situation, it's like the worst for me. I have a really hard time doing that. There are animal characters in Three Dark Crowns, and there are some big battles coming up, and it was very, very difficult to make the decision of, oh yeah, these animals are going to be in that battle, aren't they? Oh crap. What if something happens to them? And it was, yeah, it's tough. I've like armored them to the hilt and given them every chance.
What's been the biggest surprise in the series, in terms of where the series has taken from your perspective? You thought things were going in one direction, and then did you ever have a situation where the story just went somewhere completely unexpected for you?
Yeah, I never plotted this series, so for me, the writing of it is always a complete surprise, and that's been part of the delight. I really enjoy that as a writer. It makes it feel more like magic, honestly. I know that sounds kind of hokey, but I love the magic of writing and kind of discovering the story along with the characters. So I didn't know where the story I didn't know who was going to get the crown until about 6 chapters before she did. I didn't know that the story was going to be expanded into the last 2 books, but I'm really glad that it was. And even unto the final confrontation in Five Dark Fates, just in the most recent revision, something happened that I was absolutely not expecting. A character did something. Like, are you really going to do that? And she's like, yeah, I'm really doing it. Here I go. I'm doing it. And then she did it. And it was shocking, very shocking.
Wow. I'm delighted. I'm thrilled that this book is going to be available. When is it going to be available for folks?
September 3rd. And I'm pretty sure about that now because I'm almost done with it. So September 3rd sounds good.
Has it been a struggle for you as a writer? I talk to authors a lot, and sometimes they say, "Oh, it's a real struggle to get meet deadlines and things like that." Has this been a book that's just flowed, or has it been something that you've really struggled to get out?
It's flowed, but the whole series flows very badly. Like, I will write a first draft, and I will feel pretty happy about it. And then I'll put it away for a couple months and realize, oh, it's so terrible. I'm so ashamed that I made my editor read it, and we'll have to rewrite the whole thing. So it's like by the end of it, I've rewritten it at least twice, usually more like 2.5 times. So in a way, I haven't had problems missing my deadline, except we are a little bit behind now. I'm having to turn around this last revision in 5 days, and I had to beg for those 5 days. Like, they wanted it back tomorrow afternoon. I'm like, oh God, I can't. Please give me until Monday. So we are a little bit up against it. But I think that is less about the book being difficult to write and more just about we kind of packed the schedule with the novellas and didn't think about some of that stuff that novellas actually take time to write too.
Well, tell us about some of the other things that you're working on right now.
Well, let's see. I'm kind of recharging. I'm not going to have a book out next year. I have signed contracts for my next 2 books, actually my next 3, so I know what they are, but I kind of have to switch gears. I've been in the world of Fenburn and Three Dark Crowns for such a long time. I kind of have to refill the well, as they say. So I'm going to take some time to just do some creative things that are not writing related. I'm also, there's still been, Three Dark Crowns is still in development with Fox for film, even though I have nothing to do with that. I'm still, very hopeful for that. One of my short stories called On the I-5 was also recently optioned for film by the same producers that are working on Three Dark Crowns. So that feels very recent, even though once again, didn't have anything to do with that. And I just spoke with the producers of the Anna Dressed in Blood project, which is aiming for TV now. So that's kind of still in the hopper. And even though I have nothing to do with that, I mean, it feels like it's going on, even though it's just orbiting me. Does that make sense? Like, it feels like it's on my plate, even though it's really not on my plate. And it's just, a fingers crossed situation. So, yeah. Nothing, I guess, is the actual true answer. I've got nothing going on.
Well, that brings up a question. When you write a book and you've put your blood, sweat, and tears in it, and your creativity, and then you get to celebrate that it's been optioned to be be created as a film or a TV series or whatnot, but you have nothing to do with it. How does that feel, giving that kind of control of these characters that you've loved over to someone?
Well, to me, it feels good because I don't know how to make a movie. I know how to write a book, and sometimes barely that. So I couldn't be more thrilled by the producing teams that are attached to all of these things, and I have, full faith. And also I take comfort in that the books will always be the books, and they know how to make a great movie or a great TV show, so fingers crossed that happens. Also, I'm very aware that 9 times out of 10, things that are optioned just don't make it through all the way to production. So, but it's still amazing when you think about it as a creator that your work has inspired another creator to want to play with it in a different medium. I mean, that's just crazy flattering, just so flattering. And I love to talk to them and hear their ideas of what they want to do with it and how they're going to change it and how they're going to translate it. It really blows my mind.
Well, I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that the film or the TV show does become a reality, because I'll be in the theater with Jimena watching it and being scared and creeped out along with her.
Oh, well, I hope that happens, and I hope that you're equally, scared and creeped out and just full of popcorn. That sounds like a fun time.
Well, you mentioned full of popcorn. I came home from watching the Avengers with her the other night, and when I took off my coat, there's a bunch of popcorn fell out of my hood. So yes, I think I will be full of popcorn.
Well, that's, I saw it the other last week, and I'm on this ridiculous keto diet, so I couldn't even enjoy popcorn. I just had to sit there with my diet soda. So I was not full of popcorn.
Well, where can folks find out more about the Three Dark Crowns series and the Five Dark Fates and find out more about Kendare Blake?
Well, the easiest place to head for everything, I suppose, would be my website, KendareBlake.com. I'm also on Twitter, just Kendare Blake, Facebook, Kendare Blake, Instagram, Kendare Blake, not very creative. I'm not on Snapchat because I don't know how to work it. And there's also, my publisher runs like a Three Dark Crowns newsletter, which will probably have one or two more issues as it comes out. And there's some exciting things happening for the release of the final book. Thinking about maybe a sweepstakes and, there's a couple of, if people like to do the book boxes like Owl Crate and Fairy Loot, a couple of book boxes, Beacon Book Box and the Bookish Box, are doing special edition Five Dark Fates boxes with customized goodies and a signed copy of the book. So, yeah, if there are any readers out there who enjoy bookish goodies, there are going to be some pretty good ones in those boxes.
Yeah, talk about a great gift for somebody who loves reading and loves books, or somebody that you want to get into loving books and reading.
That's true. I love those bookish boxes.
Yeah.
I love to watch the unboxing videos and then get really jealous when I didn't get, when I don't have a subscription to that one.
Well, we can't wait for the release of Five Dark Fates. We're really excited for you and congratulate you. And we look forward to you coming back on the show and telling us whatever new project you're going to be working with once those creative batteries have been recharged.
Oh, thank you. Yay. Well, I look forward to talking to you again.
We've been talking to the author of the Three Dark Crowns series. The new and final edition chapter is coming out, Five Dark Fates. Kendare Blake. Kendare, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Please be sure to join us for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guest will be the marketing director for our friends at Familius Publishing. Her name is Kate Farrell. Kate will be here to tell us all about the fantastic books Familius will be introducing over the summer and into the fall. She'll also be here to share some of her wisdom and her marketing wisdom with many of the authors that listen to the show. So that's the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. And speaking of authors, if you are the author of a great children's book, we would love to have you as a guest on the show. Being a guest, it's fun, it's easy, and it gives you the chance to tell thousands of people about your fantastic children's book. All you need to do is to go to our website, readingwithyourkids.com, click on the contact button, let us know about your great book. We'll let you know the next easy steps. Hey, want to thank Kendare Blake. Be sure to check out Five Dark Fates. Like I said before, if you want to download a free version of the audiobook, all you need to do is to go to audibletrial.com/respect. Sign up for their free 30-day trial membership. You can download Five Dark Fates for free. Cancel at any time during that first 30 days. You owe absolutely nothing, but that book is yours to keep forever. audibletrial.com/respect. We also want to thank my amazing producer, Fatima Khan, for all that she does for the show. I want to thank my beautiful wife for all the support that she gives me. And I want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And thank you, as always, for making the world a better place by taking the time to read with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.